It's the Cox3.com post-game show, CIF Southern Section Volleyball Playoffs. It's the Division I Round 2 match. San Juan Hills and Corona Del Mar. The Corona Del Mar Sea Kings get the 3-set sweep over the San Juan Hills Stallions to move on to the quarterfinals. Hi, everyone. I'm Gordon Spencer along with the Professor, Paul Westphal. And Paul, this was a San Juan Hills team that was very hungry coming into Corona Del Mar, but they faced a very highly seeded Corona Del Mar team.
Well, they did indeed, and San Juan Hills had to play their A-plus game if they were going to compete with CDM. And for a while, in both the first and the second, they did, but CDM just too much firepower, and they really played very efficient volleyball. The Sea Kings served tough. They were really outstanding at the net as far as their blocks, and made very few errors in each of the first two sets, and so San Juan Hills was swimming upstream from then on.
Yeah, and a few of those errors San Juan Hills started on early, and that got them in a hole, and it was hard for them to dig out of it. Let's take you to the highlights of this one. Let's start with set one. San Juan Hills stayed in the set early on the block by Milo Simpson, and then Ryan Schickling the kill right here from the back row. And then Corona Del Mar uses their height at the net. Matt Savertlik the block, and then Joey Martino with the block, and Corona Del Mar wins set 1, 25-14. They win set 2, 25-10. CDM comes out strong. Augie Miller the kill in set 3. Then Ryan Moss at 6'7" the kill. CDM builds a 20-12 lead. San Juan Hills fights back. Garrett Austin back set to Logan Zodovic. Then Luke Biggs at the net dumps it over. And the Stallions on an 8-2 run to tie it at 21, but CDM finishes on a 4-0 run. Augie Miller coming up with the kill from Martino, and that's it. Corona Del Mar sweeps San Juan Hills 25-14, 25-10, 25-21, and there you see the stars of this match, Paul Westphal.
Well, for the Stallions, Ryan Schickling, 5 kills to lead San Juan Hills, and that kind of tells you all you need to know about the Stallions, because they needed much more contributions from all of their talented players. They had a very balanced offense that just never got clicking because of the tough serving from CDM. It was difficult for San Juan Hills to get into system all game long, and then of course Ryan Moss was outstanding. One of many powerful hitters for CDM. One of the great things about this Sea King team is that they have such balance on offense, and Moss was just one of many. Martino came to the forefront, and the two middles I thought played very well, Tommy Brooks and Augie Miller. Brooks in particular, his serving when it was 21-21, Tommy's tough serving got him the last 4 points and got them the match.
Yeah, well, Paul and I got a chance to speak to the winning coach, Steve Conte, right after the match. Coach, boy, San Juan Hills came in here, and they were a hungry team. They felt very confident, but they knew they had a tall test against your Sea Kings.
Right. I thought we played a pretty efficient match. Our kids looked pretty focused in their pregame and their warm-up, and you know, the match was pretty close early, 8-8, and in game one we were able to get some separation away from them. Both Tommy Brooks and Tommy Casey were able to get some runs off their serve, and they kept the ball off the net, and we were able to get 2 blockers up, and our block was pretty good tonight. Our middles did a good job of closing the block and being able to shut some balls down.
Yeah, no question about that. In fact, that's one of the things that I commented on early was, one, you served very tough, and you made it very difficult for them to get into system throughout the first 2, and then your block at the net was really tough. Obviously, your middles were reading their sets, and they were in great position most of the night. Even when you had solo blocks, your guys were able to prevail throughout the first 2, and we talked yesterday, and you mentioned that you can see in warm-ups whether the team is focused and ready to go, and what did you see tonight?
Well, I just saw a little bit of that sparkle in their eyes that I like to see. You know, this team has kind of created their own identity throughout the year. They're maybe a little bit more quiet than some of our teams, but don't misinterpret that. I think they're pretty focused, they're pretty driven. They just don't outwardly show that like maybe some other teams.
Coach, let's talk about the next round now. You play the winner of Newberry Park and Dana Hills. As far as I know, we don't know who won that match yet, but certainly a tall test in the quarterfinals.
Right. I mean, either team's a good team. We played Newberry Park earlier in the Best of the West tournament. They're a pretty big and physical team. They're a little bit like us. They still got several underclassmen on their team that do a good job, and you know, Oz Simmons over at Dana Hill has been there a long time, and they probably have one of the best setters in all of CIF, and Eric Mathis, the kid's a stud. And so either way, we're going to have definitely a challenge in front of us on Saturday night.
Yeah, no question about that. And one of the things we talked about yesterday was that this team is so balanced offensively, and I thought we really saw that again tonight. You used all of your weapons tonight, and that makes it so difficult to defend.
Right, and we've had different guys rise to the occasion on other big matches too, and I think that makes us kind of difficult to defend, and that's certainly an advantage I have as a coach here. And we've got guys that can come off the bench and do some things too that played in the first round. We didn't have an opportunity to kind of get them in tonight, but we've got some depth on this team too, which is certainly going to be helping us down the stretch.
And now we're here. Paul Westphal, if you could pick out a player tonight for Corona Del Mar, who would that be?
Well, I'll tell you, I think the difference in the match was CDM just served tougher than San Juan Hills did all match long. It started in the first when Tommy Casey led them on that late run that got them the first, and then it continued all the way through the second, and in the third it was Tommy Brooks tough serving when it was 21-all, and I just thought the difference was CDM serve-receive was better than San Juan Hills. It was difficult for San Juan Hills to get into system all match long, and it was easy for CDM. They seemed like they were in system from the get-go, and with all those powerful hitters, it was easy for them to get solo opportunities at the net, and I think that was the difference in the contest.
So CDM moves on to the quarterfinals after the sweep of San Juan Hills. They face the winner of Newberry Park and Dana Hills. Their quest for another title, their 8th, would be one they would go after here if they could win one here in 2014. He's Paul Westphal. I'm Gordon Spencer. Thanks for watching the Cox3.com post-game show.